Hi everyone, welcome to my third consistent video since I decided to get serious about YouTube. And one thing that I noticed is that I never introduced myself. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Christine, and I'll tell you the story as we create later how I came up with the name Darlyssa Designs. But today I'm so frustrated and I just want to be honest and kind of record my true YouTube journey. I had the hardest time trying to figure out what to do in my YouTube video this week. I want to be consistent and put something out every week, but I don't want to just throw something out there. So I decided that since I got this acrylic ink set and I'm dying to play with them, I've never used acrylic inks before. So this is something new for me and I want to see how it works on different surfaces. So I'm going to use some watercolor paper, maybe a canvas that I've already started to see how it covers what's already there or enhances it. I don't know. We're going to find out today. So I'm going to go ahead and start playing and I will tell you that story while we play. Thanks for coming back for more. And if you're new, I'm so happy that you're here. I hope that I can create something that inspires you. Okay, so I have two canvas boards here. One, they're pre-gessoed, but I usually add gesso anyway. And I want to leave one blank or without the extra coat of gesso, and I want to coat this one in gesso like I normally do on all my canvases. And I'll give it a light sand just so that when I put the alcohol, or not the alcohol, I love alcohol inks too, but when I put the acrylic ink on here, I want it to be smooth so it can go where it wants to go. So I will set this aside and let it dry, and then I'll just lightly sand it before I use the inks on this one. I also have a couple of sheets of watercolor paper, and I will show you. Here it is. This is what I have, 98-pound mixed media paper. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to gesso one sheet and leave one sheet not gessoed. I closed up my gesso. I'm trying not to get it too wet, but it should hold up. I see it buckling a little bit already. But hopefully it will flatten out. If this seems amateur, it's because it is. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is just pure play. And hopefully in a couple of years, when I've figured out my process and I'm successful with YouTube and I know what I'm doing, I will link this back and we'll all have a good laugh. I am not trying to pretend that I'm an expert on anything, but maybe one day I will be. So then there are a couple of acrylic pours that I did, and I had no idea what to do with them. So I thought maybe I'll see how these inks work on these, and I can always paint over them and start over. But we might get something cool. We'll see. I filled this with a little bit of water so I can thin out these inks. But you know, I'm probably going to go with teal. And of course, I got to have some blue, phthalo blue. Yellow ochre. I don't know. I think I'm just going to see how it goes. But we'll start out with those colors. I'm going to start by putting a little of this teal Ooh, that's pretty. And some blue. not even going to wash it because I want them to blend. I think I know what I want to do if this works. By the way, this is the one that I gessoed. Is this the one I gessoed? Yes, this is the one that I gessoed. And I don't have a spray bottle for alcohol, so I'm just going to take this. We'll do the we'll do the brush flicker thing. Is that a thing? Oh, that's going to be really cool. Kind of looks a little bit like Starry Night, doesn't it? Okay, let's put this one aside, and I'm going to get the canvas that is not gessoed to see if it makes any difference. Wow. I'm definitely going to have to voice over a lot of this because I guess my microphone is running out of power and it keeps going off, but that's okay. As long as I have the video. Wow. I love these so much. I love them. This is almost as fun as alcohol ink. I mean, I love the alcohol inks, but I do love that these are so bright. Oh, so cool. I think I'm gonna do some floral stuff with this. So maybe let's put a little bit of green. I'm gonna do a bright springy green. Wow, this is really bright. I might need a little of the dark one too. sap green and bright green. I'm wondering, I really love Liquitex products, so I'm wondering what the difference is between the more expensive brands. This is one that I got off of Amazon so far. It's pretty cool. I'm liking it. Let's put a little green in there. Let me get a little yellow in here next to the greens. Oh, I could do this all day long. All day. So I watch CC Creations on YouTube. If you haven't seen her channel, you should check it out. I'll put the link below. Should I do this? Should I do it? Yeah, maybe. Let's do this one more time. And I don't know, years ago, I think she got me into, I love doing pen work on top of acrylic. So she got me started doing these abstract pieces and then going in and trying to find things in the piece. And then, you know, like if something looks like a flower, you can go in and draw the flower and dots. I love dots. They're always fun. So I'm thinking, oh, I might not have wanted to do that. Or maybe I did. I don't know. Let's try a little green. So anyway, I think that's what I'll do with this. I'm really liking this one. And the other one that I just did, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It even seems to move it around after it's somewhat dry. I don't really like the green, and well, maybe. Let's let that drip down a little bit. Oh yeah. Okay, now I want to go in and kind of fill out, wait, I don't want to use that color. I want some more teal in here. I love this teal. Let's spread that out a little bit. Maybe these will be little flowers. Let's do some of that over here. I'm going to take a lid and put some alcohol in it so I don't waste all this alcohol. So I told you that I would tell you the story of how I got Darlyssa Designs. When my daughters were born, and I had just, scrapbooking was really in the 90s, and I was doing all these scrapbooks for my friends, and I thought it would be so cool if my little girls would grow up and be artists one day and we could start an art business. So my older daughter's name is Alyssa and my younger daughter's name is Darian. Well, she likes to be called Jessica, but until she got into, I guess, middle school, everybody called her Darian because her middle name's Darian, Jessica Darian. And where I'm from, a lot of people go by their middle names. I go by my middle name, Christine. So when I started advertising to all my friends that I was doing scrapbooking, I decided, oh, there's my dog. I decided to get ahead of myself and plan for the future. So I named my little business, Darian and Alyssa, Darlyssa. Of course, things don't go as planned. Neither one of them want to have anything, although they're both very creative, neither one of them want to have anything to do with an art business. Okay, they're saying hello to the Amazon guy outside. Oh, it does. After it dries, it definitely. Let's see if we can make some flowers here. That might be cool. Yeah, so neither one of them want to have anything to do with the art business. They both work for their dad in mold remediation. And I'm still Darlyssa. So I like it. Also, I'm going to show how old I am. When the internet was new and we still had dial-up, if you were around then, everybody was afraid of it, so nobody wanted to put their real name out there. So all my profiles were Darlyssa. I've thought about just going back to my own name, but I kind of like it. I think one day when I'm doing fine art, I will definitely use my name. But for all this fun stuff I'm doing on YouTube right now, I think Darlyssa's fun. Okay, this is getting a little messy, but I think if I let it dry and kind of paint over it with regular acrylic paints, it might be a cool background. We'll see. Might just be a hot mess that I don't do anything with. But how fun is it just to play with alcohol and inks? I love it. Might as well, right? Get a little purple in there. These are so bright. All right. We'll drip it back the other way. Look how bright that is. Okay. Okay. I'm done. I kind of like this one. Like I said, it gives me a little starry night vibe. So I think what I'm going to do is put a little golden, titanium white, and some Floetrol. And maybe a little bit of water. Maybe a little more water. I'm scared. Kind of tone it down a little bit. And whoops, we'll see where that goes. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. And there's a little bit still wet, but it's okay. Ooh. I like it. I might even do a little bit more. I might do it one more time after it dries and do some more inks. Maybe. We'll see. But I really like this. It still has a lot of color. We may be able to save these after all. I did do the same process on a couple of canvases and some mixed media paper, but if I add that here, it's going to be way too long. So I'm going to save that for another video. But since I love how the deli paper came out when I used it to take off a little bit of the ink, I decided right away to start a new collage. One thing leads to another, always. So I'm going to start it here and show you how I set it up, and I will finish it on another video. I'm starting to realize that it may not always be start to finish. That's just not realistic for me. So I will link back to this video in the next one, and you can see how this collage comes out. I have a really cool idea for this one. I really love text in my collages, and I got this tissue paper from Amazon. I will put the link in the description below. So I'm just going to add it over what I already have here. And you can't tell now, but when it dries, you can still see everything underneath. And sometimes I glue the text down first so that you can barely see it peeking through after I've glued a bunch of things on top of it. I would have done that this time, but because I like to just start gluing. So now as I'm finishing gluing these last few pieces of text on, I'm thinking since we're playing with the acrylic ink, it would be cool to add some on top here. So I'm gonna add a little bit more blue And this Mod Podge is still wet, so it'll be interesting to see how this acrylic ink reacts. So I'm just dropping it in these spaces and over some of the text that I don't really want to be able to read. And it is just as much fun on here as it was on the canvas. Although it doesn't seem to be spreading and blooming quite as much. I guess the viscosity of the Mod Podge keeps it from flowing the way it did on the canvas with just the water. But still cool. It is a little bright, so I'm trying to decide what I can do to tone it down a little bit. And I decided to fold one page over the other to kind of spread it out. And then it's still a little too much, so I'm taking the deli paper again and dabbing off a little bit. And then of course here I'm adding a little bit more of my white gesso just to tone it down and blend it all in, so that when I add the collage on top of it, it doesn't get lost in all the chaos on the page. So this helps tone it down and blend it in a lot. So now we're prepped and ready to go. I will finish the experiment next week, and I already have the pieces cut out to finish this collage, and I think it's a really cool idea. I think I'm gonna love it. I can't wait to finish it. Thanks for watching that video. I hope it inspires you to create something cool. And if you love the woods, here's where we are now. We're starting our new YouTube channel, Tiny Town Travelers, with this guy. So I'll put the link in the description below and you can follow us there. Thanks for watching.